Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Rabin here. Episode 5 of Eric's solo campaign. When last we left off, our dad had just discovered this hidden area underneath the town and is confronted by one of the elders. So we will continue there. As we are down here being confronted by the elder and asking him, like, what is this place? What's going on? Like, do you know where my son is? Why is the house burning? We start to hear a bunch of sounds like rumbling and stomping sounds coming from underneath us. And as we hear these sounds, we get distracted. And as we get distracted, the elder is going to use his staff. So as we get distracted and turn around and start like looking at the ground, trying to find out where the sound's coming from, the elder is going to lift up his staff while we're turned around and can't see, and it's going to glow a bright blue color. And as it begins to glow, the light starts to cast a shadow on the walls and the floor around us. And as we see this shadow start to begin to cast, and we turn around, right as we turn around, he unleashes a burst of ice from the staff that morphs and turns into a solid, massive spike that will protrude through our chest for 1d12 plus 3. So, and that is 12 damage total. And so, as we turn around and this hits us in the chest, our dad drops to the ground and starts breathing heavily as the ice starts to slowly creep its way over the hole, cinching up the wound and stopping the bleeding, but also slowly continuing to spread. And as this happens, we can hear voices and screaming in the background, cries for help, tears of children as they're crying about their houses, the voices of people panicking around and scattering with lots of footsteps. And as we hear all this noise and we're trying to hold our chest, the elder will look at us and say, "You have become a nuisance, just like your son. But don't worry, we've already taken care of that one." And our father is going to start panicking, wondering what's going on, not realizing that everything that happened in episode 6 is currently going on right now at the same time as episode 5. Um, that's what the sounds from underground are. And so we are now injured, panicked, franticking. And as he says that, our character is going to become filled with rage. Well, our dad's going to become filled with rage. And he's going to come up, and as he sits up, he's going to pull his sword from his belt, and he is going to spend one combat point to slash at the elder twice. That's a 16 and a 5. One hits, I think. Let's see. Yeah, his armor is 15. Yeah, so one hits for, let's see, a D8 plus 1 and 10. So as we slash the elder in the chest, he begins to just chuckle and laugh as he raises his hand and spends 2 combat points. And as he raises his right hand, it begins to glow white. And then he raises his left hand as it begins to glow a deep blue. And as he puts his hands together and forms a triangle, the white and blue start to swirl together within the whole shape, the triangle shaped hole he's made with his hands, as a burst of ice launches forward, scattering into multiple ice shards in all directions and hitting us for 3d10 plus 3 damage for 14, which is 1 more than our dad's health. So as the elder lifts up his hands and lets loose this burst of ice that splinters apart and turns into ice shards. These ice shards fly forward, smashing all around the area, into the walls, into the ground, and into our dad's body, riddling him full of spikes. And as this happens, and he falls to the ground, he lay there, laying, bleeding out, with the ice starting to melt, and the cold of the ice and the moisture from the water and blood making him begin to shiver, and his ear up against the ground. He can hear the sound of his son's screams coming from underneath him. And that is where we will end episode 5. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, and follow us for more adventures.